Well, good morning from Phuket. Today I'm doing something that is one of my least favourite things that I have to do every 3 months or every 2 months depending on how it lands. I'm going down to the immigration office. Currently I'm just doing all the paperwork. This is one of the things I hate about being here, is the paperwork necessary that you have to take to immigration. It really is a bit of a time-consuming job, the amount of paperwork, especially nowadays. You'd think everything would be computerized, but unfortunately over here in Phuket they seem to rely on a paper train. So I've got my printer set up, so we're just doing some copies of documents, and then there's a few over there, a few on the desk, and my wife is also filling in some documents as well. Well, I'm just getting ready to leave now to go down to the immigration office. I've got all my paperwork. I think it's always best when dealing with the immigration, if you're going down there and you're not sure what you need, my best advice would be call in a few days beforehand that you need to go, find out what you need to take, because of course you need to go and queue up, which means if you haven't got all the relevant documents by the time you get to the desk, they could turn you away and then you have to go and get the documents and then come back again. And if you've been queuing up for some time, this can be frustrating, so I try to make sure that I've got everything before I go. I tend to take extra copies of everything, and this is just from personal experience. I've gone down there with only 1 or 2 copies, and then they've needed 3 copies or something like this. So I take plenty of copies of everything just in case. There is photocopying down there, but of course you have to pay and you also have to queue up, so this can be time consuming. Okay, first stop is to pick up the revenue stamp. You're going to need this if you're renting and the owner is not accompanying you down to immigration. Basically it goes with the letter of attorney. You can get it from most bookshops, stationery shops. We use one down in Phuket town. They cost 10 baht each. We normally buy a couple at a time, so we've got one for the next visit. But these are needed if you are renting a property and the owner is not going down to immigration with you. I'm not exactly sure of the purpose of the revenue stamp, but if you don't have it with a letter of attorney, they will send you away to get a revenue stamp. Now Nat thinks you can also get them from the post office, but she's not sure. First problem of the day already. We've just been to get, well, Nat's just been inside the shop to get the revenue stamp, which we've managed to get. Normally this is a 10 baht stamp, but unfortunately the shop hadn't got any 10 baht ones. They'd only got 20 baht ones, so that looks like we're going to have to use the 20 baht revenue stamp. Even though we should only need a 10 baht one, we can't get one, and it means running around the town trying to locate a stamp, which it's just not worth it for 10 baht. I'd rather just stick this on the letter of attorney. These are the sort of problems you can get here. If you go in the shop, they don't have the right amount value of revenue stamp. You're just going to have to take what they have. You need a value of 10 baht on the letter. Of course, they normally sell 10 baht revenue stamps, but this particular shop has only got 20 baht revenue stamps left. Well, as usual, we have come away from immigration without the letter of residency. There's always some sort of problem whenever you go down there. This is one of the things that I dislike, that I have to do, unfortunately, and it really gets you down after a while. It doesn't matter how careful you are, how many times you check the paperwork, they always seem to manage to find something that catch you out. And this time we've got a letter of attorney from the owner, so we can act on his behalf, but they're saying that the owner hasn't signed his ID. They won't let us sign his ID, the copy of his ID should I say, even though we've got this letter signed by the owner saying we can act on his behalf. So we've now had to come all the way back home. Luckily for us, the owner doesn't live too far away from the property that we rent from him, so we're going to have to go around there, get him to sign this ID, and then go back to immigration so I can get the letter of residency. And as I say, it doesn't matter how many times you check the paperwork, how many copies, they always seem to manage to find something, and this is one of the frustrating things with dealing with immigration. Well, I've just got back from immigration the second time. I've still not managed to do the letter of residency. we got sent to a different person who then looked through the papers and found something else wrong with the papers and sent us away yet again. So this is the problem. It seems that we're dealing with different people and each one has a different set of rules. There's no set rules. You have an information when you go in who are supposed to check your paperwork to make sure that everything is correct before you take a ticket and queue up. 2 different people on information have checked the paperwork. We've then queued up, waited, got to the desk, seen 2 different officers, and both officers have found problems and sent us away. So we're now trying to sort it out a second time. And this is one of the reasons why immigration is my least favourite place, because no matter how careful you are with the documentation, how much you do research and think you have everything correct, every time you go to the immigration office, something is always different, something has always changed. So this is our day off. I've been doing this since 9 o'clock this morning. It is now almost lunchtime. Of course, immigration closed for lunch. Well, we've just come out of immigration for the 3rd time. I've now managed to do the necessary thing and get the paperwork done after 3 attempts. So now I just need to come back on Friday to make my visa extension. So this was the easy part, this one was. All I'm doing is letting them know that I'm at the same address. So it's taken me 3 attempts to do that. Well, we're now on the 2nd stage of getting my visa extension. Part of the extension on my visa, I need to have a certificate showing that I'm still married, which I have to renew every 6 months to get this certificate. So you have to come down to one of the government buildings in Phuket town that deal with the document. We've just gone in there and to be honest, it's full. It's chaos in there. The ticket machine's not working, so that's a really great day for us today. This is my day off. I've spent, well, from 9 o'clock this morning now, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, just trying to sort out a letter of residency. And now we've come down to try and get the next piece of paper or document. So on Friday I can go back to immigration and make my visa extension. And to get this document I need to come down to the government offices in Phuket town. You have to verify that you're still married, even though I'm with my wife. You know, I still need to have this document, so that's what we're trying to do now. But I can see this is going to be taking another 2 or 3 hours at this building. So of course this is one of the things you need to look at if you are planning to come and live in Thailand for any length of time. All these documents and paperwork dealing with immigration and government offices. If you have a Thai partner and she's fairly well educated, that's a bonus. I'm lucky my wife, she understands things and can deal with people and find out what we need. If you're trying to do this by yourself, it can become an absolute nightmare if you don't have a partner who can help you and guide and understand the rules and regulations. It can be very frustrating at times. We've had to go to immigration 3 times this morning. This is the government building down in Phuket town that deals with marriage certificates and things like that. I see my wife standing outside. I don't know why that is, so I'm going to go over and ask her what the problem is, because it just seems one problem after another. Okay, well, we're just about to leave now. We're not going to be able to do this document today. My wife's been inside, made some inquiries. They've told her that the queue is now closed. At the moment there's a big long queue, the machine's not working, so we're going to be here for the rest of the day basically. So I've told her to forget it. We'll have to come back again before Friday to get this document. So these are just some of the hassles that you have when you're trying to do anything official out here. Nothing's ever straightforward and easy. If you don't understand Thai and speak it, it's even harder still. I'm quite lucky, as I say, my wife deals with most of this, but it's even frustrating for her. We've decided to call in at a local noodle shop in Phuket town that we sometimes come to on a Tuesday because we're both hungry. We've been down immigration all morning, so we were pretty hungry, so we're just popping into one of the local restaurants that we sometimes visit in Phuket town. So basically I've decided to go back another day. This document I do need to be able to make my extension. Unfortunately, nothing goes straight forward that you planned. I thought this morning we would go down and do the update for my address. I've lived at the current address for about 2.5 years. But every time I make a visa extension or I go out the country and come back in, I have to go to immigration and let them know that I'm still at the same address. And basically that's what I was doing this morning, which has taken me, well, all morning basically. 3 times I've been there today. Every time you speak to somebody, there's something different down there. We've dealt with 3 different people who have told us 3 different things, and this is one of the big problems. We've managed to finally sort it out, so I have that now in my passport, so now I can go down Friday to make my extension. But part of the extension, I need to show proof that I'm still married, even though my wife is with me. I still need this document, which I have to get from Phuket down. This office deals with registering marriages, deaths, divorces, things like this. So every 6 months we have to go down and get a new copy, because it's only valid for immigration for 6 months. The copy that we had last time has now expired, so I need to do that, which I need to try and do before Friday morning. The reason why I'm doing it over 2 days rather than trying to do everything in 1 day, as you've seen the problems that you can have. If you try to make everything all on 1 day, sometimes you won't have enough time. My current visa finishes on Friday, so I need to go on Friday extended, and there would have been a problem with the address registration. It means I can't extend the visa, and if I can't sort that out on the same day, then I have the problem that I go into overstay. Well, as always, I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful. And as you can see, not everything is paradise over here in Thailand. If you are interested in finding more out about Thailand, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel. So until next time, I'll catch you on the next one.